Hi everyone, I'm Grahtles and welcome back to a new episode of the Best Start 2 series. This is episode 7, I believe, and we're about to start our mega factory using some of the blueprints we made in the last episode. So, today we're going to jump in, we're going to start a copper factory. We're going to put in smelters and constructors to make wire, cable, and copper sheets. So let's go ahead, jump in, and get started. Alright, so I've done some prep work. This is our belt system that I ran, and we talked about it in the last episode, making the blueprints for it. And I came to the very end over here, which is where I ended up with the blueprints. Now, we look inside. I have 3 copper nodes, 2 that came from the northern forest, 1 that came from over here, and it's coming up in here and connecting in, and this way it makes it easier to follow. So over here I do have the electric right here, so we're going to click on that, put it down, make sure the electric's coming through. It is. And we're going to have to set up some smelters. So this floor I think is going to be a logistics floor. And we're going to come up here, and this is going to be where our smelters are going to start. Now, all our blueprints were 4x4s, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 across, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we're going to be doing 2 rows of smelters. They're going to be 4x4, so there'll be 16 smelters in it. And this way, it should fit 8 that way, and we're going to keep going down the line. So we need 3 sets of 16. So I'm going to go into my blueprints, and we're going to go to smelters, and we're going to go to copper. And that's going to give us this. So I have to figure out exactly which way I want the ins and the outs to be. And I'm just going to press H because I think I'm going to put it on the back end to here. Now I do want this to start in one and in one this way. So we're going to nudge it over and bring it back. And that's going to line up right there. And we're going to click it. So next, I'm going to press Auto Connect for the next set, and it should line up with these. Let's see. That did line up, that I moved it, of course, but it should snap. Let's get up on top of one of these machines, because sometimes these could be very finicky. So now I don't have my blueprint, but I want the same blueprint. If I press the delete button and then R on my keyboard, I get blueprints. I can middle mouse click and move it and then go back to that auto connect. And let's see. That's the wrong way. Let's click it the right way. Sometimes they do not click, as you can see. So what I'll do is I'll press H. And as I can see, right here, let's go this way. That's the in, and we do want that. And that means that's the out. We're lining it up perfectly. That's too close. That's perfect. So I'm just going to press right there. So that's going to build our next set. And I'm just going to take this right here, connect that. Going to go over to here, connect that, and then we're going to go on the other side and connect this last bit. There we go. So it's all connected. Now if I come over to here, you can see it's a little short. That's fine. I don't mind if there's extra room there. I just wanted to make sure I wasn't up against here. Now it was made on a 4x4, but these do not take up 4 foundations, so it's fine. So we have 1 set. We're going to make 2 more. And let's see, do we have the room here? This is going to be super close. So these are going to be bucked up against each other. That's completely fine. It's completely fine. So we're just going to turn this around, bring it to the end. I'm going to press H and just nudge it back. There's that blue line. You can see the blue line lining it up. That is right on the line of the foundation. And they are bucked up against each other. The ends are coming from this side, which is perfect. So I can place that. I'm going to do the same thing we did with the last set. And that is FR. And we're going to line this one up. And so that is technically auto snapping. May not look like it, but it is. We're going to click that. I didn't have to do anything with H that time. I just wanted to make sure on the last one that it was actually correct. So here we're going to connect that. And this one. Alright, so we have 2 sets down. We need our 3rd set. Let's come back over. We'll come over to here. I'm going to press F. And we're going to spin this to the ends are here. I'm going to move it down until it turns blue. Press H. And move it forward. Now we can see that blue line again. That is inside of there. We know it's not right. We're going to move it to this line of the foundation. We got to move it to this line of the foundation. And now we can snap it in. And I'm going to do the same thing. Alright, for these I have 0 electric hooked up for them. Now on the constructors, if you watch the blueprint episode, we did put some power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove, got to press R because I want to do default, the foundation there. And I'm just going to go right here so I can see the machine. I'm going to want this to be in the middle of this guy. And then we're going to put a couple here. So let's middle mouse click on that MK2 power. I'm going to move it back to about here. 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 You do not need this many. We could probably do every other one. So I'm just going to remove... Actually, I'm going to remove this one and this one. And I'm going to leave those 3. Just in case. So next, I'm just going to remove this foundation over here. So I can see the machines clearly. And then press 2, which is my hotspot for power. And I'm just going to connect. So I don't like the spacing exactly, so I'm actually going to put that there because these drag to the side and I don't really like that. So down here I can see better. So we have these 3, 1, 2, and 3 hooked up to that. 1, 2, and 3, so I'll put it right about here. And these last 2 here. So now I have to do the other side. So I'm just going to put this floor back. And I'm going to come to this side. I'm just going to get rid of the floor there. And this is why when you blueprint, it's so much nicer to make your blueprints with your electric. So you don't have to do all this extra work. But I did not do it because I wanted to show you that it's not terribly hard, just more time consuming to add the electric later. Alright, so we got that one. Next we have to go to the next set. Not exactly sure. So if that's one set, I'm thinking right here. And right here. This should be... Let's come down the line really quick. Alright. So we should be able to take this power, find where the middle is. Now this is right down the middle of this one. So we can go, say, right there. Because that's the middle of that set. We come over to here. That will be the middle of that set. So now we know where the lines are. We could take this one, come straight down, line it up with that one. And this one. That's this way and this way. There. I'm going to do the same thing over here. So we have this one right here. We can come right down this line. There we go. Alright, so now we know exactly where the machines are. We could take away. If I hold control, I can do multiple. I'm just going to do this to make it a lot easier. Here's the other machine. Come on this side. I did too much deleting. I don't want to delete all that. Just be careful you only choose your ceiling, because that would be bad if you deleted your machines. It wouldn't be terrible, but it definitely wouldn't be practical. Alright, so here. This is a lot harder to see your connection, but once you get it in sight, you should be fine. Alright, so all the electric is in, and now all we have to do is set up for the ores. So we have floor holes that should line up, like say here, and then if we grab one of these lifts, it's gonna go like that. And it's a little farther away, but it doesn't really matter. You could put it a little closer, but it's actually fine. And then make sure you got the right one. We'll grab another floor hole. Alright, so now we have to connect our ore to the machines. So here's our floor holes. And all we have to do is go like this. And now connect these guys to them. So what I like to do is I like straight mode, honestly. So I'm going to press R, go into straight mode. And this should line up with that. The only problem is the power is there, and I'm not sure if I want it over the power, but I don't really think it matters. Nobody's gonna see it, and it's just the power's tucked in there. So I think we're fine. So we're just gonna connect all these up. If you don't want it over your power, you don't have to put it over your power. That's fine too. I'm just gonna come from this side. This way I get a nice straight there. Gonna grab the last one. Come straight. Come over to this last one. All right. So let's just look up, make sure our ore is coming in. Yep, everything is coming in perfect. So now you're like, why aren't these machines on? Well, we never hooked up the power. So let's grab this. I'm going to go to this power. Then we're going to connect this power to that power. Now that is 7. So that machine, that means that we need a different connection. So we can delete one of these, which is this machine right here. Add it to there, but now that's got 7 connections. So what we're going to do is connect this to this, and then connect this to there, and that machine's hooked up to there. But now we're going to put an extra one right here so we can connect the other machines to it. So let's go back. We're going to have to redo this one connection. So that's going to connect to there. And then that. And that. Put that back. We're going to grab one of these. We're going to come make sure it's lined up with that one, which I copied a power line. And we want to connect this. There we go. There. Let's bring this one. So now I'm also going to connect these guys together. And let's just do this last one. And this one to there. And now we just need to connect this to our power outlet. So let's do that. Boom. And all the machines should turn on. There we go. Now what I like to do is go into camera mode and just make sure I see everything lit up green. So those are yellow. And it's just because we don't have enough ore going down. There we go. Once the ore gets filled in, it'll be fine. So we'll come back, we'll check up on this in a few minutes, make sure they're all green, and then we should be fine. Like I said, it's got to fill up the machines. It's in a manifold sense. So once this machine fills up, it'll keep going down the line. But as these are burning ore, it's still going to take ore. So as you can see, they're coming down, but they're splitting between this whole line. So down here, there's no ore in here yet. So we're just going to leave these machines running. They're going to fill up, and they're going to be completely stopped by the time we get to them. So next, we have to make another floor. Now we do have these rocks in the way of our building. They're just going to be part of our building. That's the way it's going to be. But we got to figure out what we want to do as far as height goes. So planning is always a big thing for me. I take forever. I build something, I take it down. This particular build, I've made 3 times. I recorded 3 times and I didn't like it 3 times. Deleted it all and restarted. So this is where we're at right now. So this is, I think, number 4. And hopefully I don't delete this and start all over again. That is, you know, my plan is to not do this over again. But anyway, another thing to keep in mind is you're going to put this up a floor, is how tall you want the building to be, how spread out you want the building to be, and logistics floors. Logistics floors are just like this floor. It's literally just running your, oh my god, I can't think of the word, the belts and stuff like that, your electric, stuff like that. So I always like to put a logistics floor between every floor and try to make them about 2 of these 4 meters high. That seems like a decent place to be for a logistics floor. So it gives you room to move around and height and stuff like that. But because this is not a logistics floor here, I would say just go up 10 here, right? It's not the corner. There's going to be windows there. This is just to give me a feel of where I want to put my next floor. Now, I always start my floors, as you can see. Here's a foundation. Here's a 1 meter. I always put my 1 meter here. You may be wondering why I don't use the walls. These walls are ugly. And foundations look more sturdy, and they just build nicer. I think they just look better as a building. So That is why I use foundations quite a bit. So remember, where you're gonna put this is gonna be to, say, the top. It's gonna right there. And is that tall enough for your height? That's something you want to keep in consideration, right? So if I jump on a machine, I'm gonna check that height. To me, if this was a factory, I think it has to go at least one higher, which means I'm gonna grab that, put that back, take out the next one, just so I can see it a little better. Grab our floor. Wow, I just put that over there. We want to put it there. I don't have to paint this one, it doesn't matter. It's just to check my height. Zoop this. I kind of feel way better with this height than the other one. So I think this is a good place to start. So I think we're going to go ahead, fill up this top right here at this level and get this going. So I'll be back, and if you're following along and you're building with me, please feel free to just fill in this top here. So I'm just taking the corners here and I'm just going up on the very edge of the corner right here to the next thing right there, and just this way I could just mark out my corners here. So you may be wondering too, how did I get this floor so white? So let's go ahead into our color palette. So I used this one. It's just I didn't change it really, I just changed the white. So if you make this bottom number 10, it'll make it nice and bright. So make this bottom number 10, and this is all just the number F, and that gives you that bright white. Another thing I have already is this staircase put in, but I do need a half a slab. So let's go into our foundations. Again, you can get this stuff from your store and buy it. You have to purchase some of this stuff. So like concrete and the colors you don't, but the stairs you do. So we have a stairs here. So now we're gonna need a stair up to the next floor. Do I put it over here? Do I leave it here? That is completely up to you. What should happen is if you use the right height of the foundations, you should have no clipping of your stairs to the next floor. I'm just gonna grab this catwalk really quickly. I'm gonna just put it this way. Come on. It won't do it. Let's back up. Maybe that'll help. Sometimes it's very glitchy and it only wants to go where it wants to go. It's fine. You know what we're gonna do? Let's take that off. And let's grab these stairs. You're just gonna slide it to the top one. And you do have to connect Zoop again. There we go. That was perfect. And as you can see, there's no clipping. Doesn't go, you know, it's very little into the thing that's meant to be. So that's fine. But it doesn't show through underneath. So just goes into the floor just a little bit. Nothing big. So we're just gonna grab that half a slab and be able to put that right here. So you may not like that open. That's fine too. What you can do is go back into your architecture. You can grab one of these and add it to here and put like a little wall there with that, and it covers up that. And you can also add some railings later on. So we can go to the store and purchase those later. But anyway, these are going to be blocked with this wall coming down this way, because that will be the wall for the building. And this should be windows or whatever we do. It's completely up to you. You do not have to do anything particular, but I do like to fill this in. Sometimes I'll change the shape, whether it's an inverted slope or something, but right now I'm just going to fill this edge piece in with foundation. Now, don't forget, we are not building constructors here. We are going to be building a logistics floor. So this is just going to be a logistics floor. So again, we're going to go here. We're going to go up by 2. I'm just going to bring this over like that. I'm going to grab this. And next, I got to fill in this whole logistics floor. Alright, so here's our logistics floor. And you may be thinking, well, why not just put the smelter machines right into the constructors? Well, we're going to have a couple of different constructors. We're going to have ones making wire. Well, actually, we're going to have a lot of stuff going on. But anyway, also we got to think about the output. Where's this wire going to go? And we might go down with it instead of putting a top floor again. If we could put it down, we could. So yeah, you got to think it's better to have a logistics floor than not to have it. And then have nowhere to go with your stuff. So anyway, I'm going to grab another staircase here. I'm going to spin this around if I can. Just going to go like that. We'll take that off. Grab that. Go up to here. And right now, we're not doing anything. Nothing. With our logistics floor. It's going to stay just like this for now. So, constructors. So we're going to have double the amount of constructors. Let me move my mic here. We're going to have double the amount of constructors as we are for certain things. Smelters. So wire. Wire only smelts at 15. Smelts, not smelts. Produces. So let me just show you. This is where numbers get a little bit crazy. And yeah. So when we bring in our ore, it smelts the copper ingots at 30 per minute. So that's an easy thing. 30 per minute. We are working off 480 belts, which are Mark IV. And that is going to give us the numbers we got, as I explained in the other episode about the blueprints. Sorry, my brain's not working today, obviously. It's on vacation, I think. I don't know. It's somewhere else. But anyway, next, we're going to put in some constructors. So let me just show you what we got. So I had made blueprints for wire, right? And these are the quarter ones. And they have no electric underneath. I actually did some different ones than what we made. I actually made these constructors that actually have cable underneath. They're all set up, and I removed the foundations. So now, let's just see. There's the input. I'm going to press H. They're awful high, yes, because I never put them back in the blueprint and altered them. But anyway, we're going to just push this down. And when that hits the bottom, those power things are all connected. And because we're using a 1 meter, which is what I was using, they're all going to line up fine. So I, again, want to come to this white. We're going to come right to the edge. Let's see where the edge of this is. That should be perfect. Yep. All right, we're going to click it. There we go. So I was stating before that we're going to need double the amount of constructors to smelters. We have 16 smelters. We need 32 constructors. We're not overclocking any of this at all. So we're going to put one set down, and then we're going to put another set above it, I think. I think it makes the most sense to have it built that way. Just because we're going to do 2 sets of 16, and that's going to be able to do one of the 8s. So I'll show you once. It'll make more sense once I get this down. So let me see if I can auto connect this. This wants to, there we go. Spin it around. Click that. I think it's lined up. If it's not, we'll just remove it. It's fine. But it looks pretty darn good to me. Alright, so we do have to connect the insides like we did with the other ones. with the smelters. So we're just going to connect that. Connect that. And come on. Connect that. So, not too shabby. We got that in. We got 8 of them in. And I'm just gonna look at our smelters down below. So I think what we're gonna do is we have 2 outputs, one on each side. So what's gonna happen is one side of this over here, that's gonna go to one set of 16, and then the other set right here, let's grab this, will go to another set of 16. So we do have our logistics floor above, and that's what we're gonna use. So let's go ahead and we gotta see, because we're gonna either put this above it or next to it. Again, this is why I struggle to make videos, and I have to edit so much when I build, because I can never figure out exactly what I want until I'm kind of done with it, and I'm like, I definitely go back and delete and go back and delete 100 times over. So I'm just gonna put in these foundations because I'm sick of feeling like I'm gonna fall off of here. So let's fix this and this. Alright, so sometimes when I'm in this mode and I don't know exactly what to do, I think about where I have to go after this. So I'm making wire to make wire. Then I gotta make wire to make cable. And then I have to make copper sheets. So sometimes, let's go into camera mode. I like to get an overview. So I need the same set of these to make wire, to make cable. So, and then I'm going to have another step to make the cable. So I'm actually going to need to make 2 sets of 16, which is 32, of wire for making the cable. And then the cable takes half of that. So they're going to merge. So yes, it gets a little complicated, but I'm going to take a second, figure out what I want, and come back as soon as I know. Otherwise, you'll be here all day with me. Alright, I think I know what I want to do. And by the way, I put cable down before and it was wire, so I had to fix it. So just so you know. But anyway, I do want to show you one thing. In the logistics floor here, there is our power. So we'll be able to connect all these like this to this, and then run it to whatever power we're going to bring up and how we're going to bring it up. I don't know yet. But anyway, let's get back. Alright, so what I'm thinking is I'm going to make a second floor, but I'm also going to do a logistics floor in between. Because I want to. Trying to think about how I want to run the other one up, because you're going to have another one being run up from the bottom. That's going to go to the second floor, another lift, to put in our thing. We don't have room to set all these out straight, and sometimes it just makes sense we're going to do it this way. Anyway, I'm going to leave this as for one set. I'm going to put the next one down here as cable. And I have there's a method to my madness. The cable smelts at copper sheets. Copper sheets. If I'm screwing you up, I'm already screwed up anyway. So, anyway, copper sheets. We're going to put copper sheets down. So, copper sheets is here. This is only going to be 12 compared to 16. Why? It takes more. So, I'm going to show you, once I get the machines down, what it looks like. And I'll stop talking for a minute. That might help you a lot, so. Alright, that looks perfect. Alright, so, I did say that it takes 15 ingots and we're smelting 30 per minute. That is why we're going to need 2 to 1 on this one. Let's go over to the copper sheets. This needs 20 per minute. So I had to do different math. And that will take 6 per each of those. Now, I can do this and connect the two together to get 12. And it'll still run at the 480 speed. See, with this, because this is going to be way more, it's better to just split them because it's even. This one, we can run the whole line right on it. And if that makes no sense to you, I'll show you what I mean when we get to that point. But anyway, we're going to go ahead and auto-connect this somehow. Maybe. Maybe not. Where the hell is it? There we go. And I'm going to press H. Just to make sure that's lined up. It is. And I'm going to snap it in. Again, I got to connect these guys. So let's do that. All right. So this is all the copper sheets we're going to be producing. That's it. The wire, we're going to need a second floor. And the wire, we're going to need a second floor. So let's go ahead and put the next set of wire in. And that's going to be for the cable. So I can either copy these machines, actually, not delete them, and come over to here and spin it around and press H and bring it down. And then bring it forward, over, forward, and then line it up with these machines here. That's pretty darn good. And click it in. Gonna do the same thing, click it. I'm gonna spin this around. It's right there. And I know it's lined up. Gonna grab this conveyor belt. Connect that to that. There we go. Alright, so this is gonna be the first floor of making wire, copper sheets, and wire. Alright, so next I gotta make another logistics floor because I'm gonna have another set of wire being made on the next floor. So I'm gonna go ahead and put in the logistics floor and I'll be right back. So I do want to go downstairs and see how tall I made this ceiling, because I don't mind the height here. We could put definite lights in there and everything. So we have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 high. And then we made the logistics floor. So I'm going to make the next one at least 5 high. Maybe a little more, we'll see. I think 5 high should be good. These are smelters, the others are constructors. We'll see what the height looks like. So we got 2. If I go vertical, I could do 3 more. If I grab this, zoop it. Am I happy with that height? I believe I am, so I'm just going to leave it 5 high, and I'm going to fill it in. So I kind of forgot exactly what I was doing before, and I wanted to show you that if you kind of want the same height, make sure you know your height of your foundations, so this way you can kind of match up your building. Alright, we're going to need another set of staircases. Now, again, if you don't like the way the staircases are, I'm just doing it to build it. Later on, you can change these, which is super nice. You can make them any way you want after you build. For now, this is just the simplest way to get up and down. And obviously, I need another set of steps. And what I've noticed, let's see, that's coming through the middle there. We're gonna need a half slab. So let's just grab one, and that's fine. It's just, again, to get up and down. If I want, I could put another one there. But again, I'm gonna change these stairs out later on, so it's not a big deal. Alright, this is going to be a logistics floor again. Why do we need one? Probably not. Probably not. Because these are going to go down to there, and we could do a logistics floor above it. But I don't really want to end the building at the top with a logistics floor. So I'm going to put a logistics floor here. So again, we're going to go up by 2. And we're going to fill in the logistics floor. Alright, now that we got that logistics floor in, I'm just going to put some of these foundations in. It's a little bit easier to walk here. And we're going to do the next set of wire right here. So let's go ahead and press Q and wire. I'm going to H, bring it down. I'm going to come off of here and come off of here. That is not correct. Bring it in. There we go. That should be centered to there. This is... Gotta go this way. Bring it back. And that should be it. Alright. Alright. So as we know, I'm just going to see here. So, if I press F and R again. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And I'm going to just take this and color this just really like that. 2, 3, 4. Because I want my next set to be here. So I'm just going to copy this and make sure it lines up over here. So I'm just going to press H, page it down, bring it forward. So that's lined up. I'm going to set that there. I'm going to copy this one, connect it. And lastly, what I got to do is put our cable right here in the middle. So if I go to blueprints, I'm going to go to cable. We're going to go here. Do the same thing. That's out. I want that in. So let's fix that. Cables. There we go. H. Alright, so we only need 2 sets of cable. So let's go ahead and set up the next set. So now I gotta think about this. I could connect these 2 and merge 2. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. We have the belt speed, so it'll be fine. So let's go ahead and grab that. And now we're making cable as well. So next, we need to reroute the cable, the wire to the cable. So we can leave the bottom to making the wire. Actually, let's fix this because this is going to drive me nuts. There we go. All right, so we can leave the bottom ones just making the wire for the wire. And we could actually take these 2 to make the wire for the cable, which means we have to merge the output underneath. So let's go downstairs. Before we hook up any electric, I want to make sure everything's connected properly. We're going to go into default mode, and I'm just going to back up a little bit. So this is our wire. And we know that these 2 are going to come out with wire, and they need to merge together to get it to come over to here. So let's take off here. 2, there we go. So this is going to need a merger here. Those 2 are going to have to merge there, and those 2 are going to have to merge there. So let's see what we got here. Let's come over to here. Alright, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to bring this down. And I'm going to point it in that direction. I'm going to come off of this machine. I'm going to come down and point in that direction. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. The output here. and the output here. Then we're going to need a merger. I'm going to take that splitter, and I'm going to press E and make sure that arrow is pointed in the right direction. I'm going to press H. These two should line up, but they not making those little arrow things, but it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. All right, let's come under here. We're going to do the same thing. Now that, okay, because it's just a little too far apart. It's fine. All right, so now we're going to connect this into here, this into here. Do the same thing on this side. Next, we're going to take this merger, and that's going to have to go in between here. I kind of want to go right underneath this guy here. So this is the splitter. I'm going to press E for the merger, and we could do that. I'm just going to make a couple of these, and then take out the middle. Now, is that going to clip into the floor? I don't think so. I think it should be fine. Alright, so now we need to take these and merge these into here. So we'll run this straight to about there. We'll run this straight. Where did I come on that one? Doesn't have to be perfect. We could do that. And then bring it into there. Bring that into there. And then take this belt and do that. Now we'll put a floor hole in to give it the illusion that there's a floor hole there. It's the same thing with these guys. I think we're going to leave them without connecting the extra floor hole. I prefer to do that sometimes, just because sometimes the stuff gets, I don't know, transferred at a different rate. Sometimes it's a little weird sometimes, but I'm gonna do that. What I can do now is, as you can see, we got this clipping right into the floor. I'm gonna press Q, and I'm gonna go into logistics, grab this floor hole. I'm just gonna slide it right to the side, press H, and move it in. Now it kind of clips into that machine, but I could move it back a little bit and it clips a little less, and that doesn't look too bad. So I'm going to do that all the way around so we don't have this ugliness. Yeah, it's fine. Now I'm just going to put these floor holes here and here to collect ingots. Oh, that's a little too far away. I'm gonna have to move this one as well. Alright, so let's come back down and we'll connect the electric to each of them, but not to the electric itself. Alright, let's go back down. These guys are going to need the floor holes for the ingots. And now we can see where we need to connect these floor holes. Perfect. Alright, so now we're down by the smelters, and we're going to need to put these up into the here. I think it's going to be easier without putting a floor hole. I mean, we could put one in. Let's see. It's hard to line this stuff up. Let's try there. I think it's going to be wrong. It is kind of like a trial and error kind of thing. Alright, so that lines up. Trying to grab that floor hole, I can't. So I'm gonna actually go up to logistics floor. I think that might be a little easier to figure out. Let's go over to here. So we know these are 4 apart. I don't want that. I want the floor hole. Why won't it let me grab the floor hole? There we go. 1, 2, 3. Where is that? On the outside. Just inside that corner. 3. 4, maybe? That might be it. Let's see. Possibly. Could it be? No. Probably not. That's the middles. That's that one. I didn't do this one. That's right here. So, this is why I don't put floor holes in, because it could be quite annoying. Let's see if that'll work. That's not even the right one. Okay, that's it. We're done with floor holes. I'm done. We are just going to put them in very standard, like. It makes more sense anyway because we have to carry them to the top. So, let's do this. We have to come over to here. Bring this over to here. Go like that. I'm going to take away some of this floor so you can see better where we're going. Alright, so the only ones that actually have to merge are the middle for the copper sheets. So we're going to do that. Let's press E. I'm going to press H because I want to make sure this is lined up. It's not. That looks lined up. Next, let's grab a lift. Connect that to this. Perfect. Alright, so that one's going to the copper sheets. These guys, one's gonna have to go to this guy, and the other one has to go up to the second floor. So let's take a look at what we got. So let's take, I guess we'll use the inside ones here. We'll use R. We'll put the inside guys to the ones on the first floor. And then these guys actually need to go to the second floor. Now we need to bring these in cleanly so they look good. Let's see. Where can we run a lift that's going to look nice and neat and clean to the next level? We could do it in the wall here and make a wall, or you could do it on the outside of these walls, or you could just bring it up in the open on maybe a corner so you could see it. It doesn't really matter too much. It's all up to your own aesthetics and what you really want. So here's where we're going to bring in our, let's see. It's going to go probably, say, this way. We'll do the other one in the other direction so we don't cross any kind of conveyor belts. And let's figure out how we want to run these. So we do have room on these corners as well, and that would work as well. I'm going to think about this a second, and I'll be right back. Alright, so thinking about this aesthetically, I wouldn't mind having these half foundations off to the side here like this, and then bringing up the lifts on either side. Now on this side, I do have rocks, and that is going to be maybe an issue, but maybe not. We'll make this aesthetically exactly alike. We have 10 platforms here, 10 foundations. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and this would be 5. So I brought them in at the halfway point, and I'm just going to bring it up. I cannot see past there, so I'm just going to leave that there, and I'm just going to connect that and go like that, and then we're going to go up to the next floor. The rocks are still here, but not as bad. So let's see, let's turn this the right way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure it's at the edge. And I'm just going to connect this to this one. Let's go on the outside. And it's probably easier to do it from this side. Go up. And that's how we'll run it. Alright, so now that I figured out how I want to run these guys, we're going to turn them around. It makes sense because they're going to go up against the other part to run them up. So, let's grab this. We're actually going to bring it up to here. And I'm going to turn it facing that way. Do the same thing on this side too. Wrong way, of course. Of course, of course. Put the floor back. Alright. Next, we're going to need to put in floor holes. So let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to place this probably in the center. There. And we're going to do the other one same way. And then we're going to go up a floor and do the next one. And I know I said I don't particularly like floor holes this way. It's going to be the easiest way to run it up. So, got the floor hole there. I'm going to need a floor hole here. And one on the other side. And that should be it. Because the next is the logistics floor. And that's hiding everything anyway. So let's do... Where is this? It is to the outside, okay. I'm gonna grab a lift. I'm gonna connect these all up. So sometimes, again, like I just did, it takes me a little while when I start getting into it, how I want to run these things. How I want to run these things. God damn it, get off the stairs. And that is because... So this comes in a little bit, and that is the wrong lift. Fuck. I knew that was going to happen. You got to make sure your lifts are pointed the right direction. So you know what? Screw it. Screw it. That's got to be an in. This does not have to be so high. So as you can see, mistakes are being made constantly. And it's not really mistakes. They're things that happen when you build. You can't foresee them, or you probably could have foreseen that one, but I did not. Yeah, it is what it is, right? It is what it is. So I'm just going to grab the conveyor belt, bring it from here into there. There we go. And get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm going to have a lot of... Oh, I don't have that much stuff in there. It's fine. I'm going to grab this. Bring it to there. Make sure that is in. I didn't delete that other one up there. Fuck. This is going to drive me nuts. I'm going to take a ladder here. Ladders are super handy, by the way. You should buy those in your store immediately. Just do it. Alright. I'm gonna have to get up to that other floor. There we go. I gotta delete that one. Drop into here. There we go. And now I fixed it. And that to that. Go back on here. There we go. Alright, grab another lift. Let's go on the other side. Alright, nobody said this was gonna be easy. But it's not that difficult. I'm just being a baby a little bit, maybe. I'm gonna do this. Ooh, it goes into there. Okay. I'm gonna do something different. If I do this, then I could do that. And then I shouldn't have done that. What I want to do is that, and then turn it that way. So this way it lines up with this better. There we go. We'll do the same on the other side. Alright, hopefully that is perfect. Now, another thing we have to think about is electric. So everything is on these logistics floors, and the electric is coming from all the way down there, and I don't know how much of my electric I want seen. So now I gotta figure out how I'm gonna bring up my electric from under here. Let's come down here. Can I come through? Yeah, right here. How I want to bring this electric up into the rest of the buildings. So I'm going to think about this and I'll get back. Alright, so I was thinking about this, and I think because we have these guys right here that are going completely up, I think what we could do is, that one's a little hard because of the rocks, but if we, let's do this, there we go. If we go back down here, right, let's come over here. This is already got electric through it. I'm gonna click here and just see where we're at. I think what we'll do is, let's run one of these right. Actually, let's get rid of these a second. I'm gonna bring these down. You will not see these as those half walls. And then we could run the electric right up through there. So let's grab this. This is going to go here. And then we're going to bring it maybe up to the top there. And then... so it'll be seen, but it'll be against the wall there, which is not a big deal. And what we could do here is once we connect this to here, we're going to hide it back into the foundation. Like that. Let's go up to the next floor. We might put a staircase on both sides. It would make it a lot easier, honestly. So next, let's grab that. And we can put that right there. Run that to that one. So let's close this off. And go to the next floor. These are all connected from here to here. So now I can take this and put it over to here, and then I'm going to take another one right here, put it up here. So this will connect to that. I'll also connect to this one. And then we can connect this to there. So that just turned on, which is great. That's what we want to hear. Go to the next floor. So I'm not really liking the way that's crooked like that. So what I can do is, you know what? I'm not going to be picky. I'm not going to be picky. Not right now. But you could definitely fix this if you don't like it. Because I'm very particular sometimes and almost OCD to a fault. And like even those wires right there drive me nuts, but it's better than what it used to be. And I can live with this, I think, for now. There we go. Alright, so let's go ahead and get the electric connected to the next. Before we do that, let's just make sure all our machines are on. They're yellow, they're green, they're gonna fill up. That's gonna be fine. I'll keep an eye on them. This obviously doesn't have ingots yet. It's gonna take a little while for them to all fill up. Come up to this guy. And we're gonna connect you to the ceiling. And that should turn on the machines above us. Let me just jump up. I see the wire coming. Perfect. And now the wire is getting made here. That's being made. And then the cable's going to there. And the wire and the cable. Alright, so everybody looks like they're up and running. So I'm going to let this run for a little bit. And while it's running, let's talk about aesthetics of the building. So right now we have a very square building. So let's go out. We're going to just look in camera mode. Camera mode is one of the best things they ever freaking added. I'm not even going to lie. And we don't have a roof on this building. I'm just going to slide down a little bit here. So, space was needed, obviously, for the 2 floors above. Down below, we have a lot of extra space. We can kind of make some kind of, I don't know, something different. I yawned, sorry. Something different with the bottom. We can bring it in a little bit or something. I don't really know just yet. I'm trying to think. Let's jump down there and see. So, building buildings is... you get better as time goes on. I also need an entrance to my building. Now, I have access down here through this little ramp. I could bring trucks and stuff. They should fit. Let's actually take a look at that. Am I gonna hit anything? Nope, it clears all the conveyor belts and stuff. You could drive a truck right into here, so that's kind of nice. The top of the building, we could also use different ways to get in and stuff. That would be fine as well. But let's take a look at our first set here. Let's go up. This is going to stay the same. We're going to go up to this floor. And this is where we could kind of cut in. So it ends right about here. I would say I wouldn't want to do anything crazy beyond this point. So you can walk around your building. So if we just use this as like maybe a kind of, I don't know, guide or something like that of where we'd want to possibly come in or something. You could make some interesting things with this. You could actually bring your building in one and still walk through a door, say, there on that side or this side. You can't bring this in, so I would say that would go maybe there and do that. You would want this to be kind of here for a structural reason. But other than that, you don't really need anything crazy. This is where kind of you figure you want your door, say, in between these two. Let's get that there. The door is only one high, so you could do something like that. Or you could do something a little more interesting. Foundations. So we have inverted ramps. You can make something like this for your door or this for your door and inset your door back a little further. So we could do some concrete there. And then we could put maybe walls, doors, roll up gates. This one is too wide. You could bring this back in. But if we want to do one wide, we could do something like this. And H it and bring it back. If you want to put a regular door, you can. The roll-up door, you got to bring it right to the edge there so it matches up. You could do something like that. And with the automated gate, you have to kind of put this in to match there. So you could have something like that. You could paint this as well. Let's say we'll do copper because it is the copper building. You could put windows, say, right in here. So we could take these clear windows and put them in there like that. And you could do all kinds of things. We need lights in the building. That's going to be another thing we're going to put in. But just structurally here, let's see what we could do. Kind of want to make this a little bit different here. So I'm going to do that. That also puts it there and there. Then we have this kind of like H here because of that. And then we have the door there, so that kind of makes it look like that. Kind of make it look all uniform to a certain extent. So anyway, let's take a look at ramps. That makes sense to me. We could do something that kind of goes like this. I would definitely want to put a wall there. Same as the other side. I want to put a wall there. And then maybe... Whoa, I just fell off. I might need a ladder. I don't think I could yeah, I need a ladder. Let's come from here. Bring it down. There we go. Alright, so here, I'm going to want to... This is here. Bring this in. It's sitting on that. I'm going to want to do this. And that. And then maybe take an inverted ramp. Right here. Come across this way. Probably want to put another wall there. And another wall there. Then maybe what you would want to do is, let's go to materials and we'll do concrete here. And you could do a window, a couple of windows, and you don't have to use the same windows. Sometimes you won't clear. You could do these with the outline of it, which I really do like. Let's do a little bit of a paint so we could see kind of like what it would look like from the outside over there. I'm just gonna go like that. Maybe we'll paint the windows, this carbon. Now if you want to paint only windows or only foundation, you can press G on your keyboard and it'll only paint the windows, so you don't paint anything else by accident. So this is excellent. They added this in and it's so good. I really do appreciate, wow, falling off the side. Yeah, I do appreciate that as well. So let's say we wanted to make the building copper. Just this copper look here. What is this for? Nothing. It's fine. I don't even know. It might have been there for a reason. I have no idea. But anyway, I just want to get a little bit of a look. So we could just do this, this, and this. And this way I can kind of gauge what it looks like. So I'm just going to go PRT, discouple. And so there you go. It gives it a different look. And it definitely gives it shape and dimension. Just by doing that, we didn't need that room in that floor, and so that kind of just makes it just a little bit better, right? The rest of the building, you could possibly do just these windows. These right here, we could do these right up. We could push them in. We could do anything you want. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna just copper paint this on some of these because I think it'll be good. And we're going to do the outside here. Alright, so I did hit those 1 foundations. Again, I did not put on the G mode. So if I go like this, I'm going to only do 4 meter foundations. So it won't do anything to my floors or ceilings, which is good. Let's go ahead and paint that all in. So these guys are that half a foundation. So if I just look at it and press G again, so G to clear, G to put it on, and there we go. So now you could do whatever you want. You could inset some of these. You can do so many different things. I'm gonna grab the windows, and I think what we're gonna do is let's grab a ladder. So it kind of sucks not having the hover until way later, And if you don't know what I'm talking about, you get a hover, and as long as you're close to electric, you can actually just hover, and it allows you to just build so easily when you're just hovering. God damn it, I fell off the ladder. Of course I did. All right, I'm gonna paint those windows. I'm gonna grab, these are kind of, I think I'm gonna leave these to the outside, and I'm wondering, because they're logistics floors, maybe we do a different window. So maybe we do something like the hex window. And I'm just gonna put one down, paint it with that carbon steel, and then grab it, go across, and the logistics floors will just have those windows. And from the outside, it'll kind of look cool. It's a little bit different. There we go. Then these windows, what we can do is let's place these on this ledge here. We're going to press H, and I'm going to move it in by 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to just take that and go across. All right, let's take a step back. We'll go into picture mode. And there. See, just by adding the windows at a different dimension, different inside, outside, it gives depth to the building. You can add as many things as you like. You could add painted beams, you can add all different things. So we still have another floor to build up above, because we have our machines out, and we're going to do that, and then we're going to check on our machines and see how it's doing in there. All right, finally we got up here. We're going to add elevators. We're not going to need these stairs if we don't want them, which is great. So we did the last one at, I think it was 5. Yes, 5. So we're going to put these 5 high, because we're going to keep it the same height. I think that's fine. We could actually use now these painted ones, which is nice, because then we don't have to paint the rest. We do have a lot of painting to still do, but not too bad. Let's go ahead and do this and this. We'll do this on this end. And we'll just come across now. I don't actually mind the squareness of the building. A lot of buildings are square, so it's not like out of the craziness of anything. With, you know, buildings are square, rectangle, they're all different shapes, and that's completely fine. You can add different shapes later on as you get more comfortable, but yeah, I mean, that's how I kind of do it. I'm gonna finish painting the rest of this building, and then I will be back. Alright, so here is the front of the copper building. It's very simple, very square. It's not like, you know, anything crazy, but I think that it's an easy, simple build that anybody can do, especially if you're beginning and you're just starting out. Now, we still do have the windows to fill out, and I'll do that, and then I'll come back with the finished product. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this. Now, I do want to, you know what, let me jump in while I'm painting. What I do want to ask from all of you is if you would leave a comment, letting me know if you like these episodes where I leave everything in. So I've had a couple of, you know, people say that they love when I do these longer videos and really go through the whole building step by step, and this way you can follow along. Then I had people that were like, oh no, shorter videos are much better, just do the short videos. So I do struggle sometimes at what to leave in, but I have gotten way more feedback saying that longer videos and leaving everything in with less cuts is much better and easier for you guys to follow. So I am going to try to implement that. In my Best Start 1 series, I took a lot of stuff out and did a lot of cutting later on. I didn't do it in the beginning, and then I started doing it, and people were not happy about that. So I just didn't think people really were interested in watching these longer videos. Yeah, they're more detailed, but I thought, once you got it, you got it. But a lot of people are like, I just started off, and when you cut, then I can't see what you did. And I'd rather see that. So I'm all for it. And let me know in the comments below. I really do want to know what I'm doing and what I could do better to help you. Because I really love this game. I really love making videos for this game, and I really do appreciate each and every one of you for the feedback and everything else. I also wanted to mention, since we're building and talking, I have a Discord, and people have joined my Discord, and they're like, your Discord is like no other Discord. When we need help, we get help. When we ask a question, you guys answer the questions. We hang out in VC. We're willing to take a look at your builds, and if you want any advice on them, we'll give it. If you have any questions about it, we'll answer them. And yeah, we have a pretty unique Discord as to we will answer you, we will talk to you, we will spend time with you. You just got to come into VC and we'll hang out. And you don't have to come into VC. If you have a question, just ask it in our gaming's chat or our screenshots chat, and we will answer your questions. There's always somebody there that will help. So, yeah, I'm going to continue finishing up this building. I might put in the elevator last. I think that would make sense. So this way we could finish off our build with a nice elevator. I think that would be awesome. And yeah, I'll be back. See, I did so much talking, I screwed myself up and made those windows at the edge, and it's supposed to be in here. So yeah, that happens. So another thing we did not put in is lights. I'm going to do that as well. So lights and elevators we'll leave for the last bit. And this way you could watch how I put the lights in and the elevator. So don't leave just yet. Stay to the end. We got a couple of more things to do. All right, so all the windows are in, everything is painted. Let's get to some lights. So I'm going to press Q. I made a couple of simple lights in the last blueprints video, and we're just gonna put these above the smelters. And I'm not really sure here how this is going to line up, so we're going to press H. H is your best friend, honestly. That is off a little bit. I'm going to come back this way. As far as the side goes, let's bring it all the way to the half mark, which would be there. And let's see what we got here. That's center to that, and we're going to do that. Next, you can pretty much take this and line it up with this. As long as you point at the blueprint itself, you can line it up. See where that leaves us. Perfect. All right, so that gives us a nice light right from here to here. Let's go down. We're going to do the same thing. Got to copy the blueprint though. Don't copy the light. Otherwise it will not stay here. We're going to center this to this set. That is why it's nice to line things up with foundations, because then you can line everything else up to your foundations. It's so much simpler. So that lines up to there. You can press auto connect. I don't know how it'll work, but you can press it. It snaps to that side. We don't want it to snap to the side. We want it to snap to the end. So it will snap that way for some reason, but not this way. So I don't know where the lights actually went. So let's just press that. Yeah, they're being a little funky. I gotta stay down on the ground because I think it's just the way it is because I made them so high up. So they just are a little stinking pain in the butt. So as you can see, I don't have any more crystal oscillators. I am not making crystal oscillators. We're only up to copper. I'm going to see if I can make a few more crystal oscillators to at least light up this one floor. And then I'll definitely, you know what? I'll save that for another time. You have the idea about the lights, right? You don't need to do every floor the same way. What we do need to do is put in an elevator. So I am going to start from the top floor. This is definitely not where I want to put an elevator. So, I mean, I'm keeping mental notes of where I want and where I don't want elevators. So we're going to take off of there. We're going to take all this out, all these little different floors here. And I think what we'll do is, let's come right about here. Grab this floor, put it back in. Let's see what we got here. So we're gonna see, this is really too close to these guys. And an elevator inside might not be a good thing. So let's go ahead and check out other options we got. Because we do know that those are gonna be too close to what we have. So I'm just gonna finish deleting this. Alright, let's come outside. Now, elevators, let's take a look at our building. We are actually pretty complete with our building. And we got those lights and you can definitely see them. And once we get the other ones in there, it'll look great. What you could do is put an elevator outside and it'll look great for even aesthetic purposes. So, we could put it on the front of the building. That'll definitely look a little different. We could put it on the side of the building, which I don't know why I didn't color that. We have to color it. We have options. So let's go ahead, jump out of that mode, and make a decision on how we want to put this. And what floor we want to start on. Do we want to start here, or do we want to make this into a staircase going up and starting it on the next floor? That's a possibility as well. I'm gonna grab these stairs and just put them in a second. So as you can see, we can't put an elevator here. It's too tight, too close to everything. This is an even number. I don't really want to mess with the even number. This is the outside of the building that I still need to paint these things, which I'm gonna do. I'm thinking, since we can walk into this building and walk up from these stairs. Whoops, I just colored something I didn't want to. There we go. That maybe we put an elevator right here. So I'm just going to take this 1 meter, run it across there like there, and I'm going to take this and every floor here and these, we're gonna take out the windows. There's nothing logistically here. Alright, so that's the top of the building. I need to get to the top of the building because I'm going to start the elevator down here and we're going to go all the way up, which means I need some kind of staircase to go up. So I'll just take my ladder. Ladders, again, are absolutely incredible because it helps you to take a very little space and build something like that. And I'm just going to go a little higher. I want to make sure I can get to everything. All right, there we go. So we're going to go into transportation and personal elevators. And I actually want this to point out. I want to be able to have access from the outside of the building And next we're going to take our ladder. Oh my god, I couldn't think of the word. Why? Sometimes it happens. Don't worry, we're going to jump inside here and get down. Bring this up till you see that little line on the bottom. See? Boom, boom, boom. And press. Now you can take your windows, fill in that space there and there and there. And we're going to need power. Now, well, now I got to remove a window because I need to get down. There we go. All right, we're going to jump down. Now, each floor, I actually have to make a floor thing for. But what we're going to do first is, let's come into here. And here. And here a second. There is that. Okay. I'm going to come on this side. There we go. I'm going to look for those power outlets. I have them connected. There we go. So I'm just going to bring this right to... there. That's fine. I'm going to connect that to that. And that up to there. Not the cleanest, but not the worst. There we go. And now our elevator works. It's got 2 floors. We're going to go up to the top floor and work our way down. It's easier to do it from inside the building. Alright. So I'm going to copy this and jump down to this floor. Spin this around. And I also want to color these. I'm just going to do a copper. There, that looks good. I'm going to put that floor back in. And the floor back in for here. So this is a logistics floor. I'm going to delete this. Grab another one of these. And work my way to the next floor. Perfect. Grab another floor. Put it in. And make another one. And just keep doing this all the way down. And I want to stop on all my logistics floors as well. Because something might be going on. You need to get to it. And it just makes sense. So here, I have a little bit of a weird thing. That is because I have this going on here. And that is because our windows come here. So what we can do is, because that side's going to match this side, what we'll do is we're going to just grab this. Let's come on this side. And this is just going to be RS. Change the look of the factory just a little bit. Why? Because we need to. So we're going to take it in by 2. So we're going to bring it in there like that. And we got this one. We're going to bring this to there. That's fine. Let's do the same on the other side. We want them to match up perfectly. So we got to take out 2. This one's going to go here. This one's going to go here. And that should work. Let's take a look aesthetically from the outside. We do have that floor there now. And now we can get here. We're going to color this. That's fine. Let's go outside. And let's just take a look at what the building looks like now that we had to alter it. Not terrible. It actually adds a little more depth, a little bit of something different, and it works. So yeah, that's how come you kind of make alterations to your build as you need things that are necessary. We need an elevator. And we put one in. So now let's go ahead and try this out. So we have to call the elevator. This tells you the meter you're at, 0. This is the bottom. You could come into here and select a floor. But if you just hover over here and press E, where is it? E, there we go. Edit floor information. This will tell you which floors are what. And you could edit. So this would be the ground floor. And it's actually, no, this is the smelting floor. And you could confirm that. So let's go outside in here. Now, what I would love to do is have an elevator that I can do a floor stop on both sides. I can't. If I change it to there, it will not be on both sides. It's only on this side now. And I think I might leave it to the inside. It looks all right. But I wish we could have it from both sides. An elevator door that can open from both. That would just make more sense to me. The problem is now, do I have electric? Is it going through the door? It is. So I gotta get rid of that. And I'm just gonna come over to here, and here, and here, and here. And this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna grab that. Not the power line. That. I'm gonna put it right there. And so now we have it from this side. It's fine. Edit the information. We have this one. It's going to be smelting, right? Confirm. All right. Close. Let's go to the next floor. That we know is going to be logistics. So it'll be logistics 1. So let's edit. I'm going to call it, we'll just call it logic 1. Confirm. And next one. Let's go ahead and click the third. This one we know is wire and copper sheets, right? Yes. So this is wire and copper sheets. So we can edit. Fourth floor we know is logic 2. And the last floor we know is cable. Because there's wire up there, but it's all making cable. So confirm. All right. So now we know exactly where we're going. And so this would be the cable. All right. So that is going to end our episode. So we actually made the wire cable copper sheets factory. That's going to be part of the mega factory. We can build higher up if we needed to. But I think we should be good for a while. If we wanted to add anything, 600 belts, it could definitely be modulated to whatever we need. But yeah, that's kind of it for this episode. And leave comments in the comments below, please. I'd love to hear from you. It really does help with the algorithm too. Likes help with the algorithm. And subscribe if you really do enjoy it. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye.